Hey folks, welcome back to Disco Elysium. We were just about to go into this here church, I believe. Find out what this is all about. We're still exploring this second island that was over the bridge that we crossed after it was fixed. Sign reads St. Bruno 1147. Okay, let's find out. Oh. Feel the shadow of a very large building fall on you. Just appears in the shadows, many seem to be missing. Slightly ominous, but let's see what we find inside. Let's get rid of the bag. We've got a ton of new clothes. Oh, we need no shirt to have the bonus of something or other. Is that a hat? 2 logic, -1 perception. Oh, we could actually put the cuirass on. Interesting. Okay, yeah, let's leave all that as it is. We've got 2 skill points to spend. I haven't really been leveling any of these the intellect ones up. And then what thoughts have we got as well? Okay, yeah, let's do. I think first playthrough, I'm wanting to find out as much as I can about us and about the world and things like that. But then that leaves us with the ability for future playthroughs, to not do any of that stuff because we already know, and do the more kind of out there, kind of trippy kind of stuff that would be if I were to go for like a psych build or something. So I think that's the general idea at the moment. So we're going for full story in this playthrough if we can. See where we get to. Right, let's check this church out, see what it's got. Heavy wooden doors more than twice your height stand shut in front of you. The rectangular C1 ornamentation appears in stark contrast to the padlock carelessly drilled into the wood. Inspect the carpentry. Carving on the door is block-like and angular, like the church itself. 2 large beams shoot downward, sinking into the wood before they reach the threshold. when you hand over a beam. The surface is smooth from the wind but moist to the touch. Take a closer look at the padlock. This cheap-looking padlock is sturdily built. Shackled together are hasp and staples screwed into the wooden door. The lock is adorned with a yellow sticker. It will be easier to break the staple than the lock. Also, that sticker is interesting somehow. Look at the sticker. You see a yellow circle with 2 X's and a big curve below them that looks like a mouth. You're pretty sure you haven't seen it before, but what the symbol depicts is clear enough. A smiling dead guy. The curve makes it smile and the X's make it dead. Okay. There's something blindingly modern about this symbol. Its modernness puts to shame everything you've seen before. Have you seen this symbol before? He takes off his glasses and uses a blue handkerchief to thoroughly wipe them clean before inspecting the sticker. Then he looks up, pauses and replies, "No. What does it look like to you?" Looks like a dead man smiling. Suggests junior delinquency. Has this got something to do with... I've forgotten his name. I feel sad now. I've forgotten his name. Kuno. Okay, what is junior delinquency? What is suggestive of junior delinquency here? I haven't seen that sticker before and I'm not a youth. I agree, it's very modern, but does the cheery guy not know he's dead, or does the dead guy not care that he is? What is the source of the irony here? That level of conceptual thinking is not part of my skill set. Try to peel off the sticker without ripping it. Woo! It's nothing like the sound of a sticker unpeeling, now it's stuck to your thumb. Yeah, put the sticker in the ledger. Looks like today was Gold Star Day. And how? Rattle the door to see the open. Nothing happens, only the sound of the padlock rattling against the door. I don't think that's going to work. Do you think our suspect is hiding inside? He raises his sight to the darkened windows overhead. She might be. It's worth checking out anyway. The lieutenant nods silently. Inspect the staple. The padlock passes through a staple that's been hastily attached to the wood. Closer inspection reveals that one of the screws is not a screw at all, but a nail. The work has been done recently and is unprofessional, to say the least. Should you want to get through, it might be easier just to pry the whole thing off. This is where Mr. Prybar comes in handy. He takes a step back. Maybe we should circle the building first and look for another way. This building has seen enough mistreatment. Should we start with that kick drum coming from the house? I heard a sound before. Yes, the pulsing bass. He raises his hand to his ear. A sure sign of junior delinquency. Somewhere east of here. Okay. Yeah, alright then. We'll try and find another way. I guess then we go around this way. Ooh, we've got a lot of stuff in posts. There's a lot of stuff over there though, I just want to check that out first. Can only be loaded from the other side, okay. I see. I see things, I see them with my eyes. I'm curious now though. So what? Oh, hello. Shaggy looking girl in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand. Hearing you approach, she looks up.
Hello there.
Everyone knows drugs make you invulnerable to cold. You bet this one likes to party. Dear child, it's freezing. Where's your hat? She looks at you, up at you, distracted. Maybe she didn't hear you a little louder. I said you should have a hat on.
So should you.
I do. You don't have to do it. I should and I do.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's nice, you should wear them too if you plan on staying outside in this weather.
Yeah, well, look man, fuck the hat.
That kind of language really
I'm
necessary?
sorry I said fuck the hat. I was concentrating on something else. My whole family stares and it rubbed off on me.
Yeah, have you seen the redhead? Oh no, what is that? Oh. What's that device you have there? I didn't mean to do that question, but anyway. This? She breathes on her freezing fingers. It's a portable recording device. It's for field recording, low quality, but still. And the wires? Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone. Got it. Okay. What's your name? Estelle. Her hair is dyed blonde with dark roots showing. There's a coarseness to her features, some masculinity below that timidness. And your surname? Why? From the police, it's for the paperwork. Okay, well, she hesitates. It's Burger. Where have we heard Burger before? Very common name. Okay, that's probably why. What are you doing out here in the cold? Recording, I guess. And what is it you're recording exactly? I think I'm recording cracks in the ice, but there's no way to tell. Not without headphones. I think I just recorded your footsteps too. Not sure how that will sound. She scratches her forehead. Wait, what happened to the headphones? My boyfriend sold them. What for? I don't know, man. Things. Just stuff you need for life. A lie. They were probably pawned off for something suspicious. Okay. And what are these recordings for? The cracks, the footsteps. The musicians in the Elysium use them for making music. They loop the stuff, cutting the tapes together. They make music out of cracks in the ice and keys jangling. Crazy sounds like that. It's hard to explain. Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be like a music place anyway. She rubs her shoulders and looks around. I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizers too. I don't have a synthesizer. Take this, you called. The lieutenant begins to take off his jacket. No man, F that, I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry about the F. It's okay, the lieutenant backs up. He throws you a glance. No, I like this hat, but oh well. Here, you need this more than I do. Thanks, she puts it on. It's a bit large for her. You said it's supposed to be a music place. What is? That, she nods towards the church. The boys think it could be a place. Like the Palaceum or something. Stupid. It's really... She pauses. Not going to be a Palaceum, that's for sure. And who are these boys? The boys? Yeah, Andre and the guys. They're inside, in the tent. And why is that? And why are you freezing out here while the boys are inside? They got too much stuff crammed in there. No room. Stuff like what? Music stuff mostly. Like this tape recorder, but bigger. And there's piles of it. You mean like those headphones your boyfriend sold? Yep, she squints her eyes a little. They were pretty. I'm sorry we sold those. Why not just leave some of it outside so you don't have to freeze? That stuff is more expensive than I am. More expensive than any of us, really. It doesn't matter. I can take the cold. And some other questions. Tell me more about this music place you've been planning in the church. It's supposed to become like a club for anodic dance music. Like that new style of synthesizer stuff they play at the Palaceum. Except that, yeah. She looks at the old wooden church up on the poles as a mean wind comes bellowing in. The 6-story structure lets out a doleful shriek. So you want to turn the church into a club? I know, she nods towards the sloping mass of wood on the coast and shivers. It's not my idea. Andre and the boys found the place. It was supposed to be deserted, but now they can't even take it. Hey, don't get me wrong, but you're cops, right? Yeah, why do you ask? Okay, well, she hesitates. Maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys, because there are some strange things going on in that church. If you're police, you should look into it, right? I'll talk to them. They're inside that thing there. She points to the tent. Would be cool if you did. Was there something else? You put the padlock on the church door? No? No? Not really, no. She's trying to get out of a direct lie with semantic tricks. She personally didn't put the padlock on the door. So this isn't yours? It's Noid's. Wait, is this Noid a friend of yours? Yeah, I guess you could say that. Why did this Noid person put a padlock on the church door? To keep more weirdos from getting in. Effing matinees, I'm sorry. She rattles her teeth. It's got the worst weirdos. If you get around to it, ask Andre about them, he'll tell you. Okay, and have you seen a red-haired woman around? No. Just no? It's pretty desolate here. I only hear the dogs bark at night and see the shadows move down the coast. Teenagers skulking around, gang members looking for a hole in the Union's defences. Maybe Ruby too, but she wouldn't be able to tell from here. That's good. No neighbours to complain about noise when you get the club going. Exactly. It's our chance to turn the grim desolation into an overwhelmingly fun dance party. Okay, that's cool. We need to put a hat on though now. Two logic, -1 perception. 1 reaction speed, -1 rhetoric. 1 logic, -1 suggestion. I think it's got to be this on it. We're going to look ridiculous in this, but oh well. The more ridiculous the better. That's what we like. Oh, we have another skill point as well, don't we? I might keep the skill point just in case we need to level something up to reactivate it. What do you call it? Balance check. Whatever it's called. Is that a boat? It is a boat. Tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open inside 3 young men, all in forward-looking apparel reminiscent of the sticker on the padlock, are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
Squeeze in.
Sorry, we barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this. I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
See a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts in the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
His grip is strong, sweaty and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
And Egghead. Egg!
He yells. The tape player high above his head continues to blast strange music.
Together with a settled burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
Wait, how many music venues have you organised?
We have many in the pipeline, officer.
That means they haven't set up a single one yet. Why are you here?
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
There's no need, this place is pretty
Which
bad.
brings me to the problem of occupying ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast. I'm talking about a church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dope heads. Burnouts.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map of one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Revachol.
Strike that, the word.
This guy.
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts hold up in there are the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. Good, this calls for an opinion. You're an expert in this. What kind? Spooky kind. What exactly do you mean by spooky? I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is the spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge. Also, they don't heat or clean the building. It's gonna collapse. People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that. Thank you, Aked. He turns to you. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter, getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure that's not what the ecclesiasts meant their property for. I'll look into it, tell me more. Alright, man. He claps his hands enthusiastically. Estelle told me Noid put the padlock on the door. Why? Oh, so you met her. Good, good. I did ask Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. It's a temporary fix, just something to contain the situation. I had to do it in a hurry, not my best work, but it should hold for a while. I need the key. Of course. Noid give the officer the key. Alright. Speed Freak dips into his belt pack and produces a yellow key. He then makes a sudden cool infused move, tossing it in your general direction. Okay, see if we can catch it. Ah! It's as if time is frozen somehow. You think you can sense the key moving in the air. Yeah, this is going to be way cool. Don't ruin the cool by overdoing it. Raise your hand in front of your face with minimum effort. Blam, straight in the eye. Straight in the old eye orb. In the looking ball. A stabbing pain. Tears stream uncontrollably from your right eye. Ouch, goddamn asshole, what is wrong with you? Can't you see I'm in pain now? Man, I'm super sorry, that was totally my bad. I got overexcited. Threw them too hard, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay. I really am sorry, man, just take this, okay? He pulls out some black paper from his belt pack. Wow, looks like there's quite a lot there. Okay, sure, why not? We need a bit, we can always do with a bit of money, and if it's... Hope that settles it. Oh wait, the key, he cautiously hands you the yellow key ring. He is shifting in his spot uncomfortably, still feeling sorry for the mishap. We were talking about the padlock, I think? How long have those people been locked in there? Not long, like a week maybe, he shrugs. How can you be sure they haven't starved to death? I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on, at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive. Somewhere in the ruinous past that led you here, there was something called exams. You may have learned the term involuntary manslaughter there. Andre, do you know what involuntary manslaughter means? Yes, I do. I listen to Channel 8 all the time. I know about crime stuff, and I assure you, officer, this is not what's happening here. I'm at least 80% sure they're alive. I mean, come on. Most people aren't ever alive in their entire lives. What does that even mean? I don't know. He pauses to think, what does anything mean, really? Oh yeah, he looks at his friend with an expression of profound understanding. Yeah, catch your drift. I knew you'd get it, you're one smart cop. I get by. Now, where was I with that padlock? He nods attentively, ready to answer the questions of one smart cop. Right, other questions. Who exactly are these people inside the church? Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses. You haven't even seen them and you want the police involved? Well, he leans in for emphasis. There's also the machinery. When I first scouted the place back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together, so about 2 weeks ago we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there. One of them has wires running into balls of water. Wires into water, never seen anything like it. Andre, tell him about the feeling. Oh, and it felt like there's something in there with us, watching us from the dark. No, the other one. Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg. Felt like silence, awful silence. But you haven't physically seen anyone. Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church a couple of times. And we felt someone or something eyeing us inside, but that's kind of it. The woman, red hair maybe, a lorry woman? Sure, why not, yeah. But not really, the other one had brown hair, old, heavy, dark signs. So which one is it? What Noid said. It's a brown and older. Ruby might have dyed her hair, though that seems like a stretch at this point. What was that about something watching you? Like, you aren't alone, you know? It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean. Not human, as in ghost. Do you know what he means? It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some kind of crabman. A crabman? Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up around like the ceiling like a crab. The other one agrees. It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behaviour. Odd. Crabs are usually marine creatures and not known for climbing walls. Ambush behaviour. Nod. Crabman. Crabman. Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there. So he hasn't even been in there lately. Is he afraid? You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab. There's probably no crabman. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense. Can you tell me more about this machinery? You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably, very likely. So how can you be sure they're burnouts and dopeheads if you haven't even seen them? Well, honestly, I can't, but I am. This is a below feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he's attempting to weaponize idiocy. Hey now, he furrows his brow. I'm 70% sure they're substance abusers. Don't let all that technology fool you. He makes a little quotation marks with his fingers when he says technology. Where do you think the drugs come from? You mentioned some kind ecclesiasts own the church. Who are these ecclesiasts? Oh yeah, that's a Meteoran name for the founding party. Thought it'd be cool to use it. If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery. Now humour me, Andre, what is the founding party? Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a powerful religious organisation. Good, now let's talk about something else, okay. I wanted to ask you about this tent full of equipment. See, you brought your own water. Yeah, good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even has running water. And it's distilled too. Oh, he doesn't know what to say. It's the one they sell at the fuel station. It's like he's lying to you, my liege, but it's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of. I hate to tell you, but it reeks of sweat in here. It does, doesn't it? I told you we have a smell problem. He picks up a piece of a telephone cord and inspects it. Wait, I also smell ether. Why? Ether? I don't smell ether. Do you, Noid? Nope. It's mixed with a peculiar chemical scent like laundry detergent. He sniffs the air, then shrugs. It doesn't take a forensic scientist to guess that it's drug-related. They look and act like the kind of guys who've done their fair share. However, their breathing is regular, their jaws stay put, and their pupils aren't dilated. So not under the influence right now. At least not under the influence of stimulants. That doesn't rule out hallucinogens, benzos, some depressants. How do you know all this? What's with all the nosophed? The what now? He leans in to hear you better. Pointing at the bottles of nasal spray in the corner. The nosophed Ultra, you have a lot of it lying around. Oh, the Ultra. He's like an actor looking to souffle for his line. I have a major sinus infection, stuffy nose, we all do. Shit's all blasted up, winter, can't even breathe. Sound fine to me. Yes, he nods energetically. That's all Nosefed's doing. Without the nose, I'd be drowning in shit right now. Nosefed is the shit. Good, now on to the next thing. Alright, enough of this. Maybe everything isn't quite as you've been told. Take a moment to analyze. Yeah, let's try it. Okay, a number of things don't add up. Let's take a look. How about gather around, kids? Okay, kids, now gather around. The young speed freak puts down a busted capacitor and looks at you. The one with the large head seems very enthusiastic about whatever you have planned. Their would-be leader is less amused. Sometime in the past, I'm not sure where and how, I fell sick and became the shadow you see now. But before that, I have reason to believe I was a police detective. But you still are. Thank you for your kind words, but everyone in here sees I'm a disgrace to uniform. What happened? Echo looked serious suddenly. Disco happened. I've been trying to say we need the next step in dance music to happen fast. He looks at his friend. Shut it. What? I have never said that. What? I've said that. Now obviously that might as well have been 1,000 years ago, but there's still some detective left in me. The young speed freak is silent. You're sober. Was it hard for you to keep sober for this meeting? Isn't in the makings of a club. It's a tent full of laboratory equipment for manufacturing drugs. Okay, yeah, let's try it this way. You're sober. Was it hard for you to keep sober for this meeting? We don't need drugs to be hardcore. Shut the F up, Egg. Maybe not today, Egg, but you need drugs to get through the days when you're not expecting me. Climb down from the equestrian monument, Copman. Consciousness is new to the universe. We all have our ways to ease the shock. Bottom line is, I know. What exactly is it you know? He sounds confrontational. This isn't the makings of a club, it's a tent full of lab equipment for manufacturing drugs. I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers. He points at the speaker. One speaker, they have one speaker. The distilled water, cornerstone of a clean lab, and of all cellular-based life. What's your point, Lawbringer? The ether in the air, a useful solvent, good for getting acting agent out of a solution. Make up your mind. First it's the sweat, then it's the ether. He smiles nervously. That nosophed is here for its active ingredient. He said it was for his nose. What more do you want? Likely pseudoephedrine, almost exactly the shape of ephedrine. Ephedrine makes you happy, and so does pseudoephedrine. You have no headphones. Wouldn't SL need headphones to spin tape? What do you know about spinning tape? Nothing. I know you pawned them, likely for lab equipment and drug ingredients. I'm sorry, but there's no lab equipment and no drug ingredients. Where is his friend? Did he lose his friend? What do you mean, friend? The other speaker. You only have one. It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker. Pfft, this may be the brain damage talking, but you definitely never heard of monodynamic or one-speaker systems. No, it's monophonic, if you're wondering. And yeah, in fact, actually, a lot of live music is in mono, because if you think about it, there's two speakers that are quite a big distance away from each other. Well, there's lots more than two, but imagine they're coming from two sources and they're quite far away from each other. So if it was a stereo system and there was a different sound coming out of the left and the right speaker, if you were stood at the left side, it'd sound way different to if you stood at the right side. You'd like the mix would be different wherever you are in the room. So a lot of live music is monophonic, but you definitely need more than one speaker. But anyway, there's no need for me to pile on anymore, is there? Proceed. No shit, he sounds tired. In short, you tried to use a police detective to set up a drug lab. He waves his hand. Come on, that's against the law. I meant to say not true. So what are we going to do with you? What do you mean do? We do this lawman style. First you tell me everything, then I pass judgment. Tell me what's really going on and we'll work from there. Can be lenient. I don't really care, I just wanted to crack the case. You tell me what's really going on and we'll work from there. I'll be lenient. What do you mean by lenient? Not calling back up and hauling you all off to the pen for starters. We'll see. Now speak. He thinks for a moment, then opens his mouth, but closes it again, then finally raises his hands. Things are just way too hard for an entrepreneur in this city. It's not like we're not going to turn the church into the wickedest club in East Revachol. Because we totally are. We just got to turn it into a speed lab first. You know, to get our foot in the door. And why did you need me? Like I told you, spooky assholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago the place was empty and now it's all spooked up. They're not really spooky, are they? No man, they're spooky alright, it's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there. But the sign was way off too, I couldn't feel the love at all. So you promise you'd be lenient. Pick up on West Ham. Get lost, I don't want to see you again. Let's do this clean, no speed lad, just a club. Music, proceed with the club. It wouldn't work without the lab, do what you have to do to keep the club alive. I have to look into this spooky situation before I can decide what to do with you. Yeah, let's we can continue on an amiable path, right? No more misunderstandings, no more lies. He nods, smiling cautiously. Before you go, is there anything else that you need? That's it for now. Be careful in there, officer, and tell us how it all goes. Yeah, we'll be here. Yeah, I don't want to kick him out like that. I want to find out what's going on in there first. So, egghead.
Hardcore! Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega! Internally coherent! All core! Alright! Yeah!
He furrows his brow as his very large head traces the sublime, invisible movement of the music in the very real air of the stuffy tent.
Hardcore! Ah!
No, but seriously, I'm a little worried it
The
isn't.
question is, what is the question?
Just answer the
There
question.
was no question.
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid? Good.
Okay, Nudge. Interesting. To say the least.
It's good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your side. Can't really talk to people before you get a reading.
Yeah, what's all this stuff about sign? Yeah, gotta compare, see if we can align. Interesting. I suck at socializing, man. Even now our sign synchronization is way off, but I'll see what I can do. He continues to rearrange his tools. Yeah, he asked us to talk to Noid about the machines, didn't he? Weird stuff, specialized. There was a data processor and some sort of long wave machinery. Wires going into the water. It gives off a spy sign or some effed up Samaran science sign. You know, the kind that goes head first into the supernatural. The People's Republic of Samara is the product of Revachol's sister revolution on the Grand Iola. It's known as a severely degenerated rogue state. Supernatural, so you think it's real that it actually exists. Most of it doesn't exist, but there's also stuff that isn't allowed to exist because the moralists think it's too dangerous for the plebs. Psionic powers, pale related diseases, pretenders, pretending to be human, folk rights, that kind of stuff. I saw a sticker on the padlock, can you tell me anything about it? A sticker? You mean the yellow one? Can you describe it to me? Interesting, he wants you to describe it, though he already knows what it looks like. Why describe it if you already know what I mean? So I can hear you do it. Sometimes the outside gaze helps us reflect on things. No, don't bother our guests with these games. Piss off, Andre. Me and Mr. Cop are trying to discuss art. You shouldn't talk like that. You should be more respectful. Right, noted anyway. Sorry. What was it like? Produce your ledger. It's a yellow circle, human face with X for eyes and a smile underneath. I think the X's mean the guy's dead. Good, good, he likes what he's hearing. What did you want to know? Is that right? Is the dead guy smiling? Yes, you're the 23rd person to get it right. And I've asked 23 people. Looks like it's a dead guy smiling to the entire human race. Okay, what's it mean? He defeated history. We are living in the age of history, and in the eyes of history we are always already dead. How can we ever smile then? Because history is a lie, and so are its deaths. The present moment and life are the hardcore. The hardcore expels death. He thinks, oh, maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's just really ecstatic about the beach. Okay. Thinking maybe they're smiling. Yeah, better not mention it. He blinks waiting for the next question. I think we've exhausted the subject for now. Okay, maybe I'll come back later. Maybe she's just out here because she didn't want to go in the stinky drug room.
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us? With the church, I mean.
Can't say, gotta ask questions first.
Shoot.
Your associates tried to use me to set up a drug lab. I'm guessing you knew of this plan. I did, and I'm sorry, she doesn't appear surprised, for what it's worth, which isn't much. This is why I didn't go into the tent. The lieutenant looks at the ocean, squinting his eyes. Typical delinquency. You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk Andre out of it. I even tried not to lie to you. Indeed, she merely tried to admit the truth instead. Instead you opted to admit the truth. It's the same thing. I know, but I knew you'd see through their plan too. I'm not an idiot. I should have been able to control them. I will in the future, I promise. May I ask, what did you tell them? That I'm going to decide after I've looked into the church situation. Oh right, that's wise, she nods. Take your time. The others told me you were inside the church. What did you see there? Oh that, you're not going to believe me. There's no point in telling you. She's less prone to blurting out Crabman than the others. We'll see, go ahead and tell me. Okay, she nods. I went in and saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's being raised by their grandmother, you know? Strange old clothes. Had this absent expression. Didn't say anything, just stood still. Go on. And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall, upside down like a crab. Down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I effing turned around and walked out. End of story. Like a crab, you say? The lieutenant nods. His face is stern. What did this crabman look like? It was too dark, she shakes her head. I couldn't tell exactly. Come on, she obviously could. She already went into detail. Come on, quit stalling on me. What did he look like? He looked like a banger, okay. He was all muscular and stuff. He had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way. A crab and a banger, the lieutenant raises an eyebrow. Yes, a banger, as in a mess gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw. I don't want to say that I do or don't believe her, because, you know... Alright, let's say that we do. She raises a brow. Why? Seems too ludicrous for a lie. I guess so, she hesitates. Anyway, what else? Actually, that's it for now. Okay. Let's go and see what in tarnation is going on in this Jidang church. So, we're going to want a flashlight, probably. Look at me, flashlight. We're going to want a torch, probably. Woo! It's so light. Okay. Open the padlock with the key. The lock turns easily. You hear a click as the shackle pops open. Let's go, the lieutenant nods at you. Pull up on the doors. A great whoosh of air rushes into the darkening of the church as they're rushing to fill a great vacuum in the heart of the city. Okay. You should walk here, not run. Right. We'll take the advice and just walk. God, the atmosphere in this game is really good. Machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity. A radio computer, says the lieutenant, stepping closer, and it's turned on. Seems cautious around the machine. We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case. Yes, but what is this strange thing? A radio computer, the lieutenant repeats a little impatiently. We have one down at the station. And before you have time to ask, no, I don't know how to operate or what it's used for, let's go. This is the Ream Prefect radio computer, a model number RC7024, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a REM-compatible interim printer. The REM Prefect is the government version of the commonly used REM Civic model, although mostly based on the same technology. The REM Prefect is equipped with better noise attenuation circuits. Right, we should investigate it. You see virescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. Lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from his diamond-shaped glasses. You're free to proceed. Look inside the compartment. Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smouldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says in a black marker, log Feb to March. This is the machine's filament memory. Press play to access its contents. Press play. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Oh no, it's already glowing and now it's also making a sound. It's probably some alien sea-like technology. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air. East Insulindian repeater station. Good afternoon, Fortress accident on St. Brune. And this is the East Insulindian repeater station 1. Please repeat, is this the personal log? This is a human interface. A retired person sitting behind a switchboard somewhere. Fortress accident, sounds familiar. The company on whose name the terminal you're currently using has been registered to. Do you have any other information about this company? One moment, you hear her flip through a catalogue before she reads out with studious care. Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalogue says. That's not bad. And what's that, this interactive call-on radio play? The static drowns her response. Any other questions? You hear her ask when the connection finally improves. What's the personal log? The filament you have inserted into the car. You mean that glowing... Alright, thanks for the explanation. That was a question. Have you inserted it into the car? I don't know, maybe. The old lady sighs as a wave of static distorts her voice to a robotic sprawl. If you are unsure, could you please take a look? How do I do that? Open the hatch on the compartment. Don't touch the wires. A current is running through it. But the core is safe. There's a filament inside. I need to know what it's called. Just says log Feb Mart and nothing else. Good. Please repeat the password. Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer. I don't know the password. Received. I will register this login attempt. That sounds bad. A login attempt, something a criminal would do. Fortress Accident, is there anything else I can do for you today? Thanks, but I'm finished with this call. Goodbye, Fortress Accident. Okay. Press print. Nothing happens. Okay. Interesting. Before I go through there, I want to check the rest of the church. I wonder why Kim's so down on this place. bowl is filled with water, a live wire runs directly into it. The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Nothing seems to exist beyond the church anymore. Maybe if we were to stand just in the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent. Wait, I think I still hear something, and then it's gone. Almost all of it, but for the faintest of hums. Seems that sound here is detached from its source somehow, if not blotted out outright. Truly unusual. You can hardly hear your own breathing. Stomp your feet and clap your hands. You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total somehow. You yell as loud as you can. Your voice is barely audible, not a howl, but the softest of whimpers. I mean, what's happening? Lieutenant points to his ears and shakes his head, then he leans closer. Can you hear anything? Almost nothing. Not really, but it's extraordinary. I've never experienced anything like this. I wonder why the church was built with such strange acoustics. Maybe the church was designed in this way to prevent boisterous activity, singing and dancing on its premises. Could be. He doesn't seem entirely convinced now. Look up into the bell tower. The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappearing completely in the darkness of the tower overhead. Try to see beyond the shadows. Let's try. Ah! Oh, we're getting a zoom out for that. Just darkness without end. It makes your head spin. Try to make out something, anything. There's nothing. You're dizzy and disorientated as you see dark and more dark rising. Obviously, what are you looking at? He follows your gaze, attempting to see whatever it is that you're seeing. What's the darkness like? Filled with vague shapes of woodwork, the sense of a great height. Blink. Oh, hello. You see something hanging from the rafters. Oh. Crabman! Looking straight at you with dark eyes. Maybe it's possible to talk to it? Is this a hallucination? Is that a man? Looks more like part of the carpentry the building came alive. Is now studying you intensely. The Crabman! Hey, who's there? The man leans forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze, and then speaks.
I bet your alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry. Everything's gonna be alright. You've come to the right place.
That accent is Villa Lobos, a peninsula in Mesk and a district in Jamrock. There's a sizable contingent of the Villa Lobos speaking Mesk in Revocol. The right place for what?
Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of the bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
Hey, and what was that about the bottle again? You haven't even drank much lately. Lay off it already, sheesh. A policeman. I need to talk to you about police things. I don't know anything about alcohol
Oh yeah,
use.
sure. You don't know anything about alcohol use. You got it all under control, eh? I can smell the control. All the way over here.
I'm doing just fine, thank
I know
you.
it's hard to admit you got a problem. I was like you once. Couldn't take an honest look into my own heart and see I was in pain.
I'll have you know, since we started this game, what, 2 days ago in this world? Well, unless there's something out of our control, we haven't touched a drop.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
For some reason I feel like you have a point there.
Don't trust me, trust the mother. I'm only the messenger, Holmes. This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
You have no idea what the F is talking about. Is he just trying to throw you off your game? Whatever it is, he's quite confident about it. Just look how gracefully he sways. 'Tis not an act, my liege, save him perchance he hath deceived his very self. This man is a zealot. Some ravers want to turn this place into a nightclub. The ones in the tent outside, right? I seen him. they think they're scared of me. Wait, do they have reason to be scared? Nah, man, they look pretty funny, and I don't harm no one anymore, anymore. Though I used to a long time ago. So what do you think about the nightclub, that is? Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company. Do you know whether the spooker is? The strange machines around you. Other spooker? Oh, ese vieta. Muy estudioso, he laughs. Dunno, Holmes. Vegeta is grandma. Wait, so there is another person. No, I just call her Vegeta because of her clothes. She is actually quite young. He scratches his head. Or maybe not that young. Age is just one of the many masks we wear. Wait, what if it's Ruby? Lieutenant seems to be thinking the same. He takes out his little notebook. Did it ever seem to you like she was hiding here from something? You mean like a fugitive? He glances at the abandoned radio computer on the other side of the nave, pulsing with light, then he shakes his head. No man, quite the opposite. I don't think she cares much about authority or anything else for that matter. Maybe only about her machines. I see. Lieutenant seems contented with that answer. And where is she now? Told you, Holmes, I don't know. How can you not know when you both live here? Right, thanks. We'll see if we can find her some other way. You just have to wait until she comes back, or... He shrugs. I'll search through her radio computer. Have you by any chance heard the Vegeta say the password to a radio computer? Too many times, I say. You need it for something. Surveys are a good way to fish for information, especially in the name of public safety. Yes, it's for a first-degree murder investigation in Martinez. Don't sweat it, Veto. The password is after life death. What do you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nihilista Pequero when I hear it. Okay then, thanks. I think we're done here. I say the figure crawls off into the darkness above. That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure whether we'll find our suspect here. Yeah, me neither, man, but you need to stop being a downer. This is like a really interesting building, full of interesting things. This is what we're playing this game for. Okay, let's go, and then we might find her through there, I guess. Press play again. Oh no, press play again. Okay, good afternoon. Fortress accident on St. Brune. This is the East Indian repeater station 1. Please repeat, is this the personal log? Let's try this again. I think I may have the right password for the personal log. Good. Please repeat the password. Afterlife death. Good. I've unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? No. Goodbye, Fortress accident, she says as her voice disappears into a whirl of static. Press print. Printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. Looks a bit like someone's journal. Read the printout. The first entry made on the 4th of February 51 by an unknown author is short and concise. If this is short and concise, this could be a long... But anyway, arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used a crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. Lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looked up, muttering under his breath. 4th of February, that's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while. Think this might be connected to the case? Our case? No, I don't think so. Must be some local. His eyes wander into the various machines around him, eccentric. Read the second entry. 6th of Feb, 51. Had a little chat with the local fisherman. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, alright. Still haven't figured out the electricity. See, even one of the spookers themselves says it's unknown. Read the third entry. 7th of Feb, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking ESCA series, something advanced. I should need an antenna. Why would anyone need any of this equipment here? He steps on a wire running on the ground, inspecting it with his boot. Read the fourth entry. 8th of Feb, 51. Bought the antenna. Had some problems setting it up. Called Simo for help. Heard the others are back to making art, drinking somewhere out of town. Sully's Law started a rock band again. Lexi's been asking for money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labour. They can work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're effed. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how we managed to wipe out the backup when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know, everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying, and I'm here to set it right. A data loss? Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. He adjusts his glasses. Just keep reading. 12th of Feb, 51. Bought some food from the grocery store. Apparently there's a strike going on in the harbour. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow at 8 AM. The strike, he strokes his chin. We're nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what that radio anomaly that... what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place? Read the 6th entry. Oh, you're coming around now, are you? Kitsuragi. Yeah, this interesting place full of weird radio computers and crazy people hanging from the ceiling and mad artwork in the church, and yeah, interesting, isn't it, Kim? Anyway. 25th Feb, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. Swallow's sound. I need to get some mics. Is she talking about? The lieutenant looks to his right towards the silence. Read the 7th entry. 28th Feb 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the Swallow is real, and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here. The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. She's suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk. But what could it be? Lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them, no ripples. Read the 8th entry. March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. I wish you could do that with radio. Anyway, the other day one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work. That disco man must be at a cell. She must be describing a cell. The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes. Read the 9th entry. March 51. A new 2 meter aux cable. Noodles, crackers, ping energy drinks, water, toothpaste, gum, also some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. Sooner, the programmer. Strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
She glares at you as she holds down the off button for several seconds. The machine
I
reboots.
do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
We're looking for a suspect in a murder investigation. We thought they might be hiding here.
No one's hiding here.
She barely looks up from the keyboard. You hear the machine whir back
It is
to
me
life.
and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now, please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
Okay. Stained glass window. In white, silver and apricot faience? Yeah. The young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad, a dark and radiant majesty. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath the flowing dress. Should kneel. Cold wind seeps in from the crack in the glass. To be honest, I wanted to kind of kneel, but anyway. Snowdrifts cover the floorboards from at your feet. Above her, you feel a multicolored eyes on you, inspecting you. Look up. The woman looks down at you standing there. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in a green-blue eye. Of what? Compassion? Remorse? She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder. Do the same. Fingertips touch your chest 4 times as you stand in the apricot-coloured light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles, a distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass. Let's go for the visual calculus option. Ah. Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever as it haunts all men. Okay, when did she rule? 300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Iola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Mundi, she is, among other things, the innocence of interstellar travel and the connected world. Wait, what exactly is an innocence? The highest category of the historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit. A ruler? More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Bell is built to accommodate innocentric rule, should it coincide with our time. And innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions, they are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway, only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous compressed event. A sacred human being, it is an honour and a glory to live when one is in office. Is one in office now? No, we are alone. What else do I know about her? Many things. You know she was a woman of the court, wife of an influential marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene Le Navigateur, Queen of Serezny, modern-day Sailor Clef. Also, she was gorgeous beyond beauty. Okay, what else? Was she smart? Terribly. Women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. Ooh, Nelly. That's, awfully misogynistic, but anyway. A similar grasp in matters of philosophy, theology and science was encouraged. She was by all means a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret she was becoming the area's preeminent philosopher of the state. Scalpel, piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous. How come? It was on her advice that Irene Le Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale, a costly, often tragic endeavour, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history, the DeLorean era. Wow. Wow indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress. This is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the Real Belt. Okay. but she was not hell. She is the opposite of that, the wind of paradise stripping away the covers from the hearts of men. There you stand below once more with your hands on your side, momentarily at a loss as what to do with yourself. Is Dolores there? Yes, he looks around. I wasn't sure before, but this must be DeLorean Church of Humanity in Martinez. It's called the Small Pinewood Church in some records. You knew of this place? It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. He lowers his voice. It was built not long after Revicol's founding 300 or so years ago by first-generation settlers. On the coast of an uninhabited archipelago where only animals had roamed before, in the wild reeds. What else do you know? There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast, Les Sœurs they call them, the 7 sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution, or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find the instigator here, something else perhaps. He looks at the machinery lying around. Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower of DeLoreanism? Kim, are you a follower of DeLoreanism? Yes, we all are. Her name, body and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are DeLorean in origin. The woman looks by in silence, smiling enigmatically. I didn't think you were spiritual. It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The DeLorean system does not demand faith, only accordance. Okay. Yeah, let's sit a normal save anyway.
What is it?
Woman is still hunched over the keyboard, gently illuminated by the pairing machine. I didn't break anything,
you
did
just
I?
printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
Does not look like a big loss there. Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing here?
I am Sona Lukanen Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how can I help you.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was still a teenager. That still doesn't answer what she's doing in an abandoned church. Have you seen anyone... why are there so many machines in this place? I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything. What are you doing with your radio computer? I'm working. The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core, the light casting her face in a strange shadow. Working on what? Could you... She closes her eyes. Could you just shh for a moment or get to the point? I really need to focus on something. What about those bowls of water over there? They are connected to my Ream Perfect, she looks up. Whatever you do, please don't move them, okay? Thanks. Short and terse, there you have it. Whatever she's using for, they're hers. Why do you need an antenna? I use the AI1 as my Ream's Prefect's processing unit. Ream Prefect, that's your radio computer, right? And the antenna is its processing unit? Yes, she sighs. You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you? She has stopped working now. I know a little. Alright, well, all radio computers perform operations upon air, so in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna. And the AR1, is it a good antenna? She stops to think. I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation's been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market, so I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, she turns back to the terminal. You should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milius dedicated to that sort of thing. Isn't your Ream Prefect radio computer made exclusively for government use? So you do know something about computers. She looks up, almost proud of you. You're right, Prefect is mostly used by the government peeps. And you work for the government? No, I don't. So why do you have it? She inhales sharply before answering in a single breath. Because I needed something good for my investigation, and Ream Civic is widely agreed to be below all standards, so I had to upgrade. Besides, owning a Ream Prefect isn't such a big deal anymore. No, actually, it is kind of a big deal. You don't see Ream Prefects in every police department, for example. How did you get your hands on it? I know of a friend who used to freelance for the Coalition, she says nonchalantly. scratching her ear. I was actually aiming for the military grade Rain Rational series, but couldn't find one. She pats her glowing machine. Prefect is mainly based on the same technology as Ream Civic, so it's kind of a rip-off, but it does have better compatibility with new antenna models, so I won't complain. Right, I'll try not to touch anything. Next question. What are you doing in an abandoned church? You really like those questions, don't you? There's a hint of amusement in her tired eyes. So I'm a police officer, it's my job to ask questions. I'm conducting a scientific research here, you can't throw me out, she says, ready to stand her ground. What research? I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world. Wait, what? She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves, that's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows but doesn't say anything. Is the hole connected to the data loss in your journal? Yes, that's what led me here. She stares at the burnished antenna on the nearby table, but I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that. What does that mean exactly? Exactly what does it mean? There's something frantic about her as she locks her gaze with you, eyes shining like pearls. Up to now it's been impossible to say what it is, because it's impossible to measure nothing. Wait, what do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist? She's suddenly absorbed in a conversation, waiting for your answer. Easy, you measure it by the world around it. Hold on a moment, does this mean we're now living in a world that has holes in it? You measure it by collecting data on its surroundings, on that which exists. Exactly, she nods. Very true. That's what I've been aiming for. That's why I have those basins. I've tried using hydrotransducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins. Huh, hydrotransducers, so that's what those water basins are. Devices for recording sound through water. But honestly, it's not progressing very well. She grows silent, staring at the circle of basins. It looks like some ancient ritual. Do you have any idea where this hole might be located? Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume. She looks up, eyes trying to pierce the pitch black heights above you, but without much success. Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark, most of the tower disappearing into the shade. Why there? There's this place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to cease. I've named it the Swallow, and the higher you go, the less you record. The Pillar of Silence, are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk? Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place. This is where the Crabman lives. I know. You don't think the Crabman might be somehow responsible here? No, I don't. You said the research isn't going well, why not? Because it's just a trial and error, just trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... She stops mid-sentence. You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work. That's all I wanted to know about the scary 2mm hole in the world for now. Ooh-wee. Have you seen the Crabman? No. But you know he's around, yes. He's seen you. And... okay, it's probably not a big deal then. No, you're right, I'm not. Her voice trails off as she bends over to tinker over with the machine's printer. Have you seen anyone suspicious? Say a woman named Ruby. What? No, no one suspicious around here. She has not seen her, so it is true. How do you feel about anodic dance music? What? She squints her eyes. I hate it. I bet she hasn't even heard it. Okay, wow, that was quick. Why do you hate it? Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like an uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music. Right, but how do you feel about club for anodic dance music? This is about the speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? She looks up, shaking her head. I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here. What do they want to build then? Take a guess, why don't you? I heard they're also planning on building a drug lab. Bingo, she snaps her fingers. That's exactly what they're up to. Wonderful, the lieutenant whispers, admiring the embellished pillars and spectacular architecture in the church. Now this house of worship is going to be a drug lab. Always something fascinating happening in the tents. Say nothing. So that's settled. Great. She supports her chin on her hand, visibly pleased. No nightclubs in the church then. Right, I'll let you work in peace now. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that the person in the church wasn't doing more bad than the kids outside, because if they were, then we could make a case for not turning them in and letting them set up the nightclub, but monitoring the drug production and, you know, trying not to imprison people without when it's not necessary. But I think we're gonna have to, I think it's probably wiser to say no club and no drug place. That's, I mean, we are cops after all. Right. So this could be quite a long conversation potentially. So I think we'll call it there for this episode, and we'll catch up in the next. Alright, thanks for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this random weirdness that is only ever getting more weird, and we're getting more tangents and side quests and things, so this could end up being quite a long series. So thanks for joining us, and see you in the next ep. Bye bye.